you really need to start printing your photos. Welcome back to the cluster mess we like to call Steps and Stones. I'll be your captain this evening. There's at least 3 icebergs ahead, so you better start turning the wheel now. Over the last decade or so, we have found a comfort in the act of scrolling over the tradition of flipping through. And in a lot of ways, this change has been for the better. We've eliminated excess waste, and we've streamlined the process of sharing with our friends and loved ones. But over the years, we've actually lost a tactile intimacy with our images, scrolling right by them the moment we click the like button. The mystery of it is gone, which kind of informs our subject choices and sense of composition. It favors most creators to produce content that is not only easily understood, but information that can be digested at a rapid pace. And sometimes this does result in some really compelling images, and other times it ends up being more like a gimmick that can be easily replicated by others and becomes more of a search for likes than self-expression. And we're all guilty of this at one point or another. And sometimes these images are actually a way into understanding how a photo actually works and the way you would like to see your photos look, which honestly is a good thing. It can break barriers where some people feel intimidated to even try. But you know what it doesn't do? Say anything real about you and how you see the world, because that's actually the most interesting part about photography. Now, in no way am I claiming to be an expert in this understanding, but to be honest with you all, other than a handful of rolls here and there, I haven't printed most of my work in many years. Even with a lot of my old digital stuff, it just never seemed like something I wanted to do. But after being invited to present my work along with other amazing artists in a community analog photography gallery, that all changed. You thought that was just a throwaway joke in the beginning, right? I would never. This is serious. Looking back at some of my old family photo albums, the greatest gift in them is their sense of mystery. The stories left just outside of the frame, and those moments forever captured to relive over and over again. There's something really interesting about these late 90s and early 2000s images, even some of the ones that I took. Not just because it's my childhood, but because there's actually a lot of information left in these images that were never meant to actually speak to the viewer. And physically having it in my hands furthers that sense of connection. Over our, let's call it, waterboarding of social media etiquette, we've learned to only show the best moments of our vacations, only our good hair days, anything but the revealing nature of an ordinary moment. However, when I look back at some of these family photos, there's instances where I can see maybe my sister was unhappy in a photo. Maybe the flash went off when it wasn't supposed to, and now there's a reflection of a spider web just outside the window of the kitchen. Maybe it's just an unflattering picture of you hiking up Yosemite Falls. And the point isn't now to go force unthought out, candid photos, but to challenge what you think your photos are supposed to look like. And it's extremely possible that printing out your favorite photos could actually teach you something that you can't really learn in Lightroom or even looking at them on Instagram. But yes, you should edit those photos to a place you're actually satisfied with them. You should get them to a point where you feel comfortable, but also excited about sharing them. And after that, print them. I bet you'll see something in your shot that you didn't actually notice on the screen. Alright, maybe it was a throwaway joke. I think you get the point I'm trying to make with this video, but just for consistency. The whole reason we actually shoot film over digital most of the time is to have a tactile, hands-on approach when it comes to our images. So why does that usually stop once we get our negatives scanned? Sure, I had some experience printing in the darkroom in high school and college when it came to black and white chemistry, but we're actually a long ways away from that hands-on experience unless you have that incredible resource available to you. Most of us probably don't have that anymore. A lot of local and smaller labs have closed down. So printing digitally is actually the most immediate way to see your work and get to hold it in your hands. Thank you again. Just a few days ago, one of my pieces was actually considered for an upcoming showcase in Long Beach, and I was more than honored when I found out the image would actually be included in the showcase. But about 10 seconds after reading that email, I realized I never print my work, and I had no idea if this was going to turn out the way that I saw it in my head or how I saw it on my screen. And sure, I have my online portfolio print shop, but I don't actually see those images once they send out. It's an on-demand printing site. So getting to see the process done from start to finish was actually really exciting to think about. Does it live up to the way I see it in Lightroom? Is the detail really there, or does it just feel that way on Instagram? Is it actually in focus? Should I just give all my cameras away? There were many questions that I didn't have the answer to until I got something in my hands. Pretty good. The showcase is not just a photo gallery, but a celebration of all local art that could be considered analog. And of course you know that there was some craft beer involved, because why wouldn't there be? My favorite thing about this event was the fact that this location actually used to be the home of the original Tuttle cameras before they moved to their new location. They had even kept the original sign up to celebrate this heritage regardless of the change in ownership, because this shop really is a Long Beach institution, and it's pretty incredible to see these two separate entities come together and celebrate the arts in a way that provides a respect for tradition and promise for future growth. Browsing through everyone else's work was probably a bit more exciting than having to look at my own in person, but I have to be honest, to see this image lined up alongside all the homies was an honor. We weren't liking an image and scrolling past it. We were getting to share stories and the intent behind each photograph, giving insight and context to each person's work. It's too early for me to know if my print actually sold at the time I'm making this video, but that really wasn't the point of me wanting to be a part of it. It was just interesting and a new perspective for me to challenge what I would like to tell in my stories between the frame lines. Comparison is not only the thief of joy, but the death of self-expression. It's great to flex that muscled understanding for what tools create a well-orchestrated composition, but maybe it's equally as important to take something that for you feels unexpected. Go flip through some old photo albums from when you were a kid. Look to your favorite photo books, and try to understand what made some of their work popular and why the other photos included in the book challenge that idea. Take the weird composition sometimes, not because you're trying to emulate a look, but you want to try one you've never seen before. And when you nail it, you should probably print it. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'm sweating my ass off, so please give a like if you like this video.